How old were you when you made your first million?
18 and a half.
What kind of traffic are you guys moving out of that bodega?
4 kilos a day. He said, so how long is that gonna take you to sell that? That's been sold. How many kilos can you sell tonight? Say 5. By a week and a half or 2 weeks, he was already giving me on consignment 10 kilos. I used to sell like 18 to 25 kilos a day.
You think you're making $1 million a week?
More than that. Maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Adam Diaz is a former Dominican drug lord who was featured in the hit HBO documentary The 7-5. Adam moved with his family from the Dominican Republic to New York City when he was 13 years old. And by the time he was 19, he was making millions of dollars a day moving cocaine out of a string of bodegas that he owned in East New York, Brooklyn. This is where he met Mike Dowd, the dirty New York cop who helped Adam locate his enemies and elude the feds for years. Adam was a true kingpin. He had an army of workers, couriers, drivers, and hitmen operating all over the city. The amount of money he made was staggering, literally millions of dollars and dozens of kilos moving in and out of his Brooklyn bodegas 24 hours a day. And his saga didn't end there. After catching a small federal case in the early 1990s, Adam got out and went even bigger, establishing drug smuggling routes from Colombia and Venezuela through the Caribbean and into New York City, where he imported thousands of kilos at a time through shipping containers. That's going to be in part 2, which you can get early over at our Patreon. Today, Adam is back living in the Dominican Republic, where he owns resorts, hotels, and a cigar brand that he started with Mike Dowd. Ladies and gentlemen, they do not make dudes like this anymore. The one and only Adam Diaz, right here on The Connect with Johnny Mitchell.
We got a hot one today, you guys. It's Adam Diaz. Real quick before we get started, do me a favor if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, and quickly hit that subscribe button and turn on the alert bell. And if you love the episode, leave us a like and a comment. It really pushes the video out. All right, let's do it. Adam Diaz, enjoy.
So you grew up on the island. Where did you grow up?
I'm from the capital.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the only time that I came to Santiago, where I live now, was to buy a Mercedes-Benz that they only had it here. This agency is the only one that had that Mercedes, and I came and paid $100,000. It's only $72,000 in New York, and I had to pay $100,000 because it's in the Dominican Republic. And I paid it, and I took it back to the capital. That's all I did back in the 80s.
You spent $100,000 cash in Dominican Republic?
Back in the days, I used to bring. Remember, back in the days, it was only American Airlines. It was not even Eastern, it was Pan Am and American Airlines. I used to bring a bag full of money right through to immigration, As a matter of fact, I used to use the same bag they promote. It's called Pan Am. It's a blue, I'll never forget, a blue bag, leather bag, and I put all the money there. Every time I come from the state, money. But then my business grows so big that I had to send people with money, and make transfers,
So you were bringing all your drug money and hiding it here from New York?
I didn't hide it. I was buying properties. Mm-hmm. Part of the properties in Cabaret, I bought it with that money a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Do you think a lot of these properties, especially on the coast right here, a lot of them originated with drug money from Dominicans who made it in New York?
Really. No, this is way bigger than that. Here is way bigger. Like, they have a lot of Russians. Sosua and Cabarete, they have a lot of Russians with big money. Mm. They come from Europe and spend it here. And they wash it.
Right.
Why
do you think Dominicans were so, of all the islanders who left and went to New York and Virginia and Philadelphia, why were Dominicans like the top island drug dealers? What is it about this place?
Because Dominican Republic, the Dominicans, I'm not going to say Dominican Republic, Dominican people, right? The Dominican guys, they have very similar culture with Colombians. They don't have a similar culture with Puerto Ricans or Panamanians or Venezuelans. They have a very similar culture, so they get along. Like, I will sit down with Colombians and spend hours, and then we're gonna end up drinking and the same girls. Uh-huh. But Boricuas, we don't. Most Puerto Ricans, they have a complex. Why? Because back in it's something that grew up really bad. Puerto Ricans used to come way back when the slavery, they used to come and work the sugar cane in this country, right? But then Puerto Rico became an associated island to the States. They became very rich.
That's so fascinating, even though Puerto Rico's right there, Haiti's connected, Haiti's part of the island. Dominicans have more connection culturally to Colombians.
To Colombians.
And do you think that is why Colombians gave you love when they first started bringing work?
Yes,
That makes
because
sense.
communication is the best. Communication always. If you can't communicate, you just can't. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And Colombians, when you talk to them, like I could talk to them about business. Like one time I sat down with one of the Medellin cartel big boss, right? And his wife is Spanish from Spain. And we sit in the living room like this in New York, big room. And we talking, we're having a long conversation. And we were arguing about the price. And Puerto Ricans, they lose their temper. They go, they get loud and they got ghetto. I don't do that. I sit down with the guy and the big Colombian guy, young guy. That's something like Billy the Kid, they call him, I forgot his name. And I had a conversation with him, very respectful guy, very, they talk with respect. So we're talking, and he sit down and trying to explain, look, Adam, I'm sorry, but we can't. The price, I said, listen, I'm trying to manage my business. And you guys, I'm happy. I'm going to take your work anyway. Doesn't matter. But it's not going to speed up because go to the street. Don't listen to me. Don't believe me. Go to the street. Find out how the prices are. And these people, they prefer to pay for less quality and don't pay that much money you asking than pay the price. They're not going to do that.
What was the ticket they wanted to charge you?
It was like $28,000 a kilo. They wanted $32,000, and if it's $22,000 in the street, $28,000 in the street, you got to give it to me at $22. It's not going to work for me.
Mm.
So, but I know the numbers. I know how much they pay over there. I know how much they're spending to bring it, the traveling and everything, the delivery. I know everything.
Right.
So they're not gonna fool me by, we're not making any money. You making a fortune. Don't call me that. You're making a fortune.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, did you have multiple connects in Colombia, or did you just deal with one group?
No, I had 2 connections from Colombia, and I had 1 Dominican, good one. Okay. Good connection, Dominican. The good thing about the Dominican connection was that I have a lot of credit with the guy. Because the guy know all my family, the guy know all my properties in Dominican, and he was like, Adam could sleep in my house.
Now, in this day and age, the Dominican is a hub for kilos coming through the Caribbean. They either go to Puerto Rico or they go over to Europe.
It used to be.
Was it back in your day though?
Yeah, but the difference is it was only a few. It was only a few of them. Now there's a lot of them. Because Colombians, they retire. They work from Colombia.
Right.
They don't get out of the island because all the tradition and all the that's going on. They stay on the low profile,
Okay, so you grew up, you moved from the Dominican from the capital, your family moved in 1979.
To New York City.
Straight to New York.
Yeah.
The Big Apple. Now, what kind of childhood did you have? Like
in New York?
No, in growing up in Santo Domingo. Were you guys
I was a
working
very
class?
tough kid. I was a tough kid. I used to be on the sea water all the time, beaches like that, but wild where they had sharks and everything. I used to be getting in the farms where they had bulls, mess around with the bulls, climbing up the trees. I was a crazy kid.
Were you guys poor, or why did you choose to move
poor,
to New York?
Middle class. My father was a school teacher for a college. As a matter of fact, the college was named United States of America High School, and then the college. And I remember that because that school made a big impression in my life. Because I I think it was for the 4th of July, or I don't know why, they brought this rock band. Like rock and roll band. And I never experienced that. I always listen to Spanish music. I'm a kid. And my father brought me to the school that day. He said, there's a concert, I want to bring you. He brought me. And there was a lot of women, and what the is going on? Man, when those people started playing that music, I went crazy. I went so crazy that when I went back home, I grabbed a lot of cans and I started messing around with the drums. It was crazy.
So you were kind of enamored with American culture.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So your parents wanted to strike it out for the American dream.
Yeah,
where in New York did you go?
My father was never agreed we go to the States. But you have to take on the consideration that my mother, all her brothers were in the States already. My father didn't have any family, except his father, and his father never worried about him. So.
So where did you guys go? Washington Heights?
Washington Heights, 163rd Street in St. Nicholas. 539th Street West, between Brody and St. Nicholas, 58.
For the people that don't know about Washington Heights, tell them, what do Dominicans mean to Washington Heights, Manhattan?
Well, that's a Dominican community. That's, how do you call? I met a guy named, they call him Marino el Diablo, the devil, Marino the devil, right? He's a stick-up guy. He gonna stick up places, the drug dealers and everything. The cops kill him. But he used to send me to the store, go get me a beer, do this for me, do that. I didn't know he was a bad guy until he died. Like, I didn't know he was a really bad guy. He's like a sicario. Wow. He kill people for pay, he stick up people, he do crazy. But all I know is that they respect him. Right. And I respect him for that. Right. So he sends me to the store, get me a beer, do this for me, do that. So I became very friends with him. I was a kid. But then when they kill him, it really hurt me. Like, it really got to me. I was like, why they kill him? Why? But then my father tells me, he's a criminal. He's a criminal. But my father didn't even know, I was hanging out with him. Right. He's a criminal. He's one of the bad guys, I'm like, oh, okay. And, but that was back then, I saw that with my own eyes. Back then, cops, in order to arrest anybody, they had to call them, red-handed. Like, they got it right there. I got you with the drugs, and I put the handcuffs on you. Remember, they didn't have the surveillance. Right. They didn't have the surveillance technology or anything like that. You got to remember, back in the late 80s, mid-80s, the guy who really invented technology to prosecute people was a doctor. Because they killed his daughter, in a drug shooting, whatever, and he got very upset, and he became a cop, and he dedicated himself to that. So he made the Congress or Senate, I don't know, pass the law where they could record you, or whether it's voice recording or visual, and get you arrested. Right. But when I was a kid, 1979, but 1980, they had to cut you right there, right-handed. Right. And I remember this cop grabbed this guy selling like 3 grams or something right in the middle of the 163rd Street. And I saw in my own eyes, the guy grabbed him, right? Put the handcuffs on me and said, you're under arrest for selling narcotics. And the guy practically, dragged the fucking cop to the floor. And then all the other guys, they started, back then they didn't have the law where they recycle the bottles. So you got bottles all over the place. You got beer bottles all over. Back then it was like, I think Miller has a lot of beers out there. And they were like bombing the police car with these bottles. The cops actually had to take off the handcuffs from the guy and take off. They basically had to do that. They had to just leave the place.
Yeah. Were Dominicans already selling drugs by the time you got there?
Yes. That's a town here in Dominican. There's a town, a province. It's called San Francisco de Macorís. That's why when you talk to me about, when you asked me just now, you asked me, Adam, how about this, these properties here, the drug dealers? Oh, some of them maybe, but the bigger properties like this one, there's a lot of properties here, huge properties that have nothing to do with drug dealers. It's way bigger than that. But back then, back in the 80s, this wasn't even built back in the 80s. It was just a couple of houses in the beach. But in Santiago, in San Francisco de Macorís, that town in particular has mansions like way 5 times bigger than this. Yeah. Huge, like Scarface style.
Yeah.
Big drug dealers, they used to come from the States to the Dominican Republic, and that was their hometown. And they built like whole big neighborhoods with big expensive houses. Because those are the ones that started buying visas, which I did too. Mm-hmm. Buying visas with money to bring their home colleagues from Dominican to the States so they could work with them.
Right.
Because they trust them.
Right.
And so those that come, they go back and also invest, and then and it was like like the train, domino effect.
Right.
Then everybody's buying houses, everybody's making a lot of money, and that whole town was famous for that.
Wow.
Back in the 80s, San Francisco de Macorís was famous and very known for that.
Right. So it was a diaspora of Dominican drug kingpins.
Yeah.
I assume a lot of them probably got away with it, or they got their money back.
A lot of people got killed. Cops took advantage of it though, because when the cops, these big generals, they find out okay. So the other day you walk around in sandals and now you have a Mercedes-Benz and you have a Rolls Royce and you have this old. I mean, I know a guy who even have an airplane, like one of the Cessna. And used to go around the world. Well, I mean, not even I can't even afford that. And how you doing that? Right. So what they used to set them up, bring a couple of killers to the house, put them in, hey, you're getting arrested. Oh, give me 5 million pesos, whatever. I'll let you go, because they know the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Fellas, is your pee-pee not getting hard? Are you trying to make love to your woman with a soft ding-a-ling? It's like trying to push yogurt through a cheese grater. Am I right? Hey, we all have it. We all have been ingesting microplastics for decades. It's nothing to be ashamed of. There's treatment available. The best treatment, the only treatment you'll need. Who am I talking about? Obviously, Hims. Hims connects you with licensed healthcare providers online, so you can get legitimate ED treatment options from home. No awkward doctor visits, no standing around at a pharmacy. They deliver that straight to your door. You just fill out a quick online intake, a provider reviews everything, and if you're approved, your treatment ships straight to your door in discreet packaging. They offer sildenafil, which is the generic Viagra, and it can be up to 95% cheaper than the brand name. And if that's not the right fit, they've got other options too, so you can find what actually works for you. It really is a menu of pills. It's amazing. Go to their website. It's all straightforward, transparent, and just way easier than people expect. To get simple online access to personalized, affordable care for ED, hair loss, weight loss, and much, much more, visit hims.com/connect. That's hims.com/CONNECT for your free online visit. Once again, hims.com/connect. Now here's a quick disclaimer. A prescription is required. See website for details and important safety information. Sildenafil is the generic version of Viagra. Viagra is a registered trademark of Viatris Specialty LLC. Hims is not affiliated with or endorsed by Viatris.
So you didn't grow, but your family was stable. You're not from a family of drug
My family was middle
traffickers.
class.
Yeah.
My family was very decent. My mother's a housewife. My father's a school teacher. But then when we went to the States, my father was working for this carpentry furniture factory. Fine furniture, not just this, but fine, like redwood, classic Louis XV furniture. And he's good at it. And he was working for an Italian company doing that. He was making good money. And then my mother was just home. But then they got separated. They had their problems, their differences. And then she went on welfare. But we did good. We were doing good. We did great. Then they went back together. And then they bought a house and they got a pizza shop. And then they separated again. And it was a Holocaust. And then, forget it. Over at the end.
So was it your brother who first got into the game, or was it your cousin?
My cousin.
Okay. Tell us about your cousin.
Well, my cousin Louis, I was a kid. And when I was working in electricity, he was the one that initiated me working as an electrician. And we used to go to do work, grocery store, wiring, clinics wiring, supermarket wiring, you know, stuff like that. And then he got me going to school for you know, trade school, and then and so on. But then he disappeared all of a sudden. He started working for this old drug dealer. He was a young guy. He was like 24 years old. I'm like 17, 18. And then he was like, started working for that drug dealer, and he started making a lot of money. And that's when he became a crack dealer.
Okay, so he got in on the ground floor, like the beginning of crack.
Exactly.
They were printing money.
Yeah.
Anybody was getting
crazy
millions.
money. He was making a fortune. But I was somewhere else working in it. You know, I was working for this Italian company called Onion Neighbor in Terrytown. I was out of But then he calls me on the weekends. Adam, come over, help me out, please. So I go there, what's up? Oh, and he got the scale. He's like, back it up like this. I said, all right. I go boom, 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 boom. I hype him out. And then he gives me money. And I'm like, and then he said, why don't you leave that shit? You're not making any money, you know. Why don't you work with me? Sometime I want to go to Dominican. I don't have nobody I can trust here. Why don't you stay with me? Say, well, it depends how much you pay me. You know. And he says, okay. So he started paying me like, it was like $2,000-3,000 a week. But he never like kept his word. You know? He was paying this other guy that was doing less than myself, and that he could trust less than me, because that guy didn't even know where he lives. I knew, because he's my cousin. I knew where his wife, where his kids, where his mother, everybody's at, because we're family.
What were you doing for him?
Everything. I was at the store, at the grocery store. We're selling on that's on Delancey. It's not East New York, Lower East Side.
Okay, Delancey, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm over there on 11th Street working with him. And
you're selling crack hand to hand?
No, not crack. He already left the crack alone. He was selling 0.5 grams and 3.5 grams.
Okay.
And also, we were selling like crazy. Like,
out of what? How did drug dealing work in like the Lower East Side?
$50 a little bag like that, like 0.5 gram. It was expensive back then.
Right.
And it was selling by...
How did you sell it? Out of the bodega?
Out of the bodega.
Right, how does that work? The bodega owner lets you just post up in his store?
It's his store. It's my
cousin's. Of course, he owns it. Right. Okay.
Yeah, we just rent the place and we built the grocery store and we started selling drugs.
Right.
And I'm good selling groceries too. I know the market, because my family, that's what they do. My mother's family, that's what they do. So, then Louis, you know, he was making a fortune, and then he started getting greedy, and then he's paying the other guy more, and then I had it. I was like, I could make money working as an electrician, and he's like, no. Then I had to shot somebody at the store.
You shot somebody?
Yeah, so I shot somebody. I shot a guy with a .357. I shot him. Oh, the guy. We had a fist fight. Right? First, because the guy, that's our spot. The guy tried to sell something right in the corner. So I told the guy, listen. And then he was selling it right open in the street, like screaming, I got this. And I'm, yo, not only that you're selling in my spot, but you making my spot hot. The cop's gonna think I'm selling that shit. I'm not selling that shit. And then he got stupid with me. So we started a fist fight. Boom, boom, boom. We're fighting. And then he leaves, I leave. And he got very upset because I grabbed he was driving a bicycle, a small bicycle, right? And I grabbed the bicycle and I tore it apart against an electric pole. I grabbed that bicycle and just destroyed it. And then I went back in the store. Then the next day, the guy comes back with a gun, showing me the gun, you know, making believe like he's gonna shoot me. And then he tells, when he comes out of the store, I'm gonna shoot him, I'm gonna shoot Adam, I'm gonna shoot Adam. So I go in the store, grab my .357, I came out. He was like almost half a block away from me. And I said, you said what? And then he turns around and he tried to pull the gun. He gave me any choice. So I shot the guy, boom. When I shoot the guy, then I go right near him. I remember this nurse that used to go and buy something, to work the night shift in the hospital. Puerto Rican girl. I went to kill him, right? And she goes, no, Adam, don't do that. Don't do that. Just leave, cross the store and go. The cops are coming. Don't do that. I say he was gonna kill me. And she's like, no, please, Adam, don't do that. All right. So I leave.
So you were gonna waste him.
Yeah.
You didn't even think about it. You were just like, oh, he pulled a gun on me. I have to kill him.
No, he was gonna shoot me.
Right, but you already hit him.
Yeah.
And he was on the ground bleeding, and you were gonna go finish him.
And he was on the ground like a bitch, screaming like a bitch. And I'm like, so I told the girl, all right, and then I told the guy, you're lucky she's here. And I leave, right? And then I closed the store, and I had a guy working for me named Taboo that later on in the 80s, he got arrested with me. Because after that, he worked for me, not for my cousin.
Right.
And Taboo named Victor Perez, he did a lot of time. And he didn't open his mouth. And I left Victor at the store. And this is a funny story, because I had to escape the cops dressing like a woman. And that's a funny story. So I closed the store, I left Victor there, and I left. But his mother lived like 2 blocks away. I'm on 8th Avenue, and he's on B Avenue. So I'm like, I walked through his mother's house, and his mother knew me. And she said, no, just hide here, hide. So I hide in her house, right? And I slept there overnight. So I called my father the next day. I said, I need you to come and pick me up. What happened? I said, I got in trouble. Just come and pick me up. And I told him the address, and he came. So Victor's mother got me dressed like a woman. Got a blonde wave. And you got to remember, I was very young. My face was like slim, nice and clean, no beard, nothing. I'm a young kid. And I got high heels and a long dress. I got in my father's car and we left because the cops are looking for me.
Right.
But they didn't know my name. They call me Blondie. That's what they call me in the area, Blondie. They didn't know my name. So we disappeared. And so I went to Miami the next day, and from Miami, I came to Dominican. Wow. And I stood here like 4 months.
Okay.
Then I called my cousin, and my cousin says, don't worry about it. The cops are not looking for you no more. I paid the guy money so he could leave that shit alone. So he paid the guy like $10,000. Leave the shit alone.
Right.
Because if you keep with us, we're gonna waste you, man, because you're the one that looked for it. I mean, it was you who got shot. He could have been my cousin.
Right.
So I came back to my cousin's store, but then my cousin got stupid, and I got very upset at him, and I left. And then that's when I started working in Brooklyn, because this other cousin of my first cousin, named Chito, he tells me, I heard you're not working for Luis anymore. I say, no, he's an asshole. And then he says, come work with us. I say, what am I gonna do there? I say, we got problems with the Jamaicans, and then they come and they give us a hard time all the time, and I heard you got balls. And I say, I don't know, but I'll go work for you. How much am I gonna make? And then he gave me a good deal. He said, we don't work by salary. We split the money. We by depending on what's your position, like in the mafia, like you're a captain or you're a lieutenant or you're a big boss or you're a main man, whatever. That's how we work.
Wow.
But you definitely make your money.
And what was your role with him when you first
My
got
role,
started?
I started working, with a gun, watching the customers. They come in, then there's a couple of guys selling, and I'm just make sure everything is in order. Like nobody comes in with a gun and nobody's is a threat to us. Then everything changes when the cops raided the place. Like a couple of months after that. I'm already making money like crazy with him.
And it's a bodega.
Yeah, in the bodega.
Okay.
So and that's New Lots in Vermont. And
So this is like East New York?
East New York. Yeah, I'm already in East New York.
Wow. So that's one of the most dangerous, violent neighborhoods back then.
I think Lower East Side is way more dangerous.
Okay.
But
it's up there. They're in competition.
Brooklyn, because it's all most of them are black. They make a lot of noise.
Mm-hmm.
Starting something new, especially a business, is always terrifying. I remember when I first got into this podcast, there's that voice in my head like, hey, what if this doesn't work? What if nobody watches? What if nobody buys? I just wasted all of that time. But the truth is, Taking that leap, betting on yourself will be the best decision you can make. Absolutely. This podcast is by far the greatest thing I've ever done, and it's a whole lot easier when you've got the right tools behind you, like Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world, and a huge chunk of e-commerce in the US. Whether you're just starting out or already growing, it gives you everything you need in one place. You can build a clean, professional online store with ready-to-use templates, and they've got built-in AI tools that help you write product descriptions, improve your photos, even create content faster. And when it comes to actually getting customers, Shopify helps you run email and social campaigns so you're not just sitting there hoping people find you. They are really a one-stop shop. We have merch drops or we're trying to sell a product. We always use Shopify. Everything's centralized, inventory, payments, analytics, so you're not juggling a bunch of different platforms trying to make it all work. And if you ever get stuck, they've got 24/7 support to help you figure it out. It's time to turn those what ifs into money. Sell something online. Where else do things get sold? Your basket weaving that you do can sell online, and you should use Shopify. Turn it into money today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/Mitchell, my last name. Go to shopify.com/MITCHELL. Once again, that's shopify.com/Mitchell.
What kind of traffic are you guys moving out of that bodega?
Back there, it was like 4 kilos a day. 4 kilos a day. But that was my cousin. That was not me.
Wholesale? Wholesale?
No. Ounces, half a gram shit. They hardly sell a kilo. I was the one that started selling kilos.
So you can move about 4,000 grams a day out of one.
That's nothing.
Well, that's one bodega.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So the
you said-
cops raided the place. When they raided the place, they put me on the floor. But I don't know if we made a cell. Sometimes you make a cell to an informant, you don't know. You have to remember something. Back then, it was the state, not the federals.
Right.
Drugs at that level, they were not federal. There was not a federal law against that.
Right.
It was state. So the state, the state cops, they don't give a shit. They go out there looking for money. And when they find money, they leave you alone. They take the money and go. Wow. So they go, they look around, they find, let's say, 20, 30 grams, whatever, 50 grams, 100 grams, and they grab it, throw it on the floor, and then they grab all the money, and they close the store.
And you wouldn't get arrested?
And they tell you, go to your house.
Wow.
And that's what they do.
Right.
So they raided the place, and I remember the cops grab some money, take off, leave, and then they go, we're looking for your cousin Chito. We're gonna tell him we're coming after him. Because he was already famous for having that spot there. Mm. So it was Armando, my cousin, and Chito, my cousin. Right. You gotta remember, these are kids. They even younger than me. These are like young
These are
kids.
teenagers moving this kind of work.
I mean,
It's crazy.
I don't know if you haven't seen the movie named, There were kids, two Italian kids and Irish. I forgot the name. I'll let you know when I remember. But it was like that. And Once Upon a Time in New York. Or
Yes, Once Upon a Time in America?
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in America. It was something like that, what we had.
That's amazing.
Just a whole bunch of young kids selling drugs.
But not even selling, 4 kilos now will get you fed time.
Yeah.
Teenagers were selling that every day.
Every day.
And that's one bodega.
Yeah, but that's nothing compared to what I did after that.
No.
My cousin, that's when I got there.
Yeah, this is small potatoes compared to what's coming.
Yeah, so they got me on the floor, but Chito wasn't there, and Mandito wasn't there. They weren't there. They were inside the store looking. They had me and a whole bunch of guys that work for Chito, and then they closed the store, and then we went to Chito's house, and we met a big reunion. We did a big meeting, and then he got panicked. Because you gotta remember, if it was me, I wouldn't get panicked. But he got panicked, real panic. He says, going to Dominican. And you got to remember, this kid is a U.S. citizen. He's not even Dominican. He was born and raised in the States. And he says, I'm going to Dominican, and I'm going to go there, and let me know when things are cold. And then he goes, you in charge with this guy named Manuel. You stay with Manuel. And Manuel, as a matter of fact, he got my same last name, Diaz. So you stay with Manuel Diaz. You stay in charge. And when I come back, we split the money.
Who was the plug?
What do you mean the plug?
Who was the plug? Who was your cousin's connect?
No. He had not even a connection. He had cash money. And he had couple of Dominican guys that he could get, go and purchase the kilo. His mind was not that big. He just had money. And he'll say, go find out who's got 2, 3 kilos, 8 kilos. I need to purchase. And then you go find out and you get the kilos and you bring it.
So it was like whoever.
Whoever got it, yeah.
See.
He wasn't concerned about a lot of other things. I was concerned about a lot of other things. So when I stood there, he stood here in Dominican for 4 months or so, 4 months. When he ran out of money, he went back. And then when he went back, he went making a big decision. So he sat me down. He said, my cousin Mandito, Sarapio, we all cousins and friends, good close friends, including this big black guy named Head. I never forget him because he had 2 wives living in the same block. I told him, what you got? Do they allow that? And he goes, I need 2 women, Adam. It's not enough. 1 is not enough for me. I always remember that about him.
He's on to something. He's not wrong.
So Chito comes and says, Adam, which of you want to stay with the spot? I'm selling the spot, and I'm giving you 2 or 3 months to pay me. I say, really? And how much do you want? He says, I want $300,000. And then the rest of the guys, they got upset. They got because they've been there a long time. I haven't. I'm hungry for money. They not. And they stupid, they don't see the big picture. I come from the Lower East Side. I come from the Bronx. I come from Manhattan Avenue. I didn't tell you that before all of that. Yeah, I was in Manhattan Avenue, Washington Heights too.
Awesome.
107th Street, 107th Street and Manhattan Avenue. I sold drugs there too.
It's fascinating how young ghetto kids in New York back then could just get a job.
Yeah.
There was so much coke moving, hey, you could just go work for this guy who's got a spot. It's amazing.
So Chito got me, a deal. He says, and then the guys go, no, that's not fair. That's our spot. These are our customers. Why are you selling it to us? If you want to retire, you got enough money, because this kid got money like crazy. But he still want to make money. But I'm hungry, and I said, I'll buy it. I got like $150,000 right now. I give it to you up front, and I stay with this spot.
To buy the bodega.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's like, okay. So they're all upset. And then I say, I stay with one of them. I share, my partnership with one of them. He goes, which one is yours? I say, Sarapio. Old guy, but he was a cousin to my mother, and he loved us. Say, I stay with Sarapio. So Sarapio, nice guy, but he had a problem. He sniffed cocaine. He's always high, and he likes to shoot. But I didn't know some of these things because he was never at the store. And then we started working. We're doing good.
So you own the spot. What does that mean? You get more of the share off of the brick?
The money's mine.
Okay.
I could grab stuff from whoever I want to. It's my spot. It's my business now.
Right.
I'm paying you. I'm giving you money for the bodega and the spot. It's mine now.
Right.
It's my business.
Right. And so are you actually running it as a bodega as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I gave the guy, the money, like after a few months, gave him the money. And I still had to look out for the guy after that because he wasn't doing too good. But then, shit happens in the spot. People get shot, you shoot people get shot, stick-up guys come around, you have to defend yourself. That includes, when Michael Dow and all these cops that got involved with me in the business. And
yeah, let's go into that for a second. So tell us how you grew from just one bodega to now you've got multiple spots. You're making connections with the Colombians. Like, kind of take us through those like early days as you start to build your business.
Okay, this is what happened. I was doing exactly what Chito, my cousin, was doing. And I have this particular connection that I met while I was in the Lower East Side. His name is Moreno, tall guy. He used to be a basketball player, but he got up and he started being a drug dealer. And I knew Moreno, and there was a shortage of stuff in New York back in 1987. Very shortage, big shortage. You can't find cocaine. Just like right now, it's happening right now in New York. Yeah, this is
that
cocaine because all the shit that Trump is doing.
Right. I got people scared.
So the same thing back in those days. And I called Moreno. Moreno was not a big connection, but he had a constant connection. He wouldn't get you 8 or 10 or 20 kilos, but he'll get you a couple of kilos. So there was no stuff in New York. And I said, shit, what am I going to do? I had the money. So I called Moreno. I said, I need to talk to you, man. I said, what happened? I say, remember I was buying stuff for Louis in the Lower East Side, but now I'm in Brooklyn, and you help me out. He goes, all right, come over, we talk in person. So I go over there. He's in Washington Heights. I went to Washington Heights, 190th Street and Audubon. I went over there and had a conversation with him, and I said, I need stuff. And I got cash money. He said, all right, how much you need? I said, how much you got? He said, oh, I could get you 5 kilos maybe, and maybe then you got to wait next week. I don't know. I said, give it to me. So I give him the money, I grab the stuff, and I leave. And then I was selling very expensive. I like triple that money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then, but there's still shortage, in the market. There's no stuff in the market. And there was one day I was with this guy, with this other guy, friend of mine, Edward. I say, Edward, what are we gonna do, man? We need to. And then he goes, I got an idea, man. And my cousin Mandito, all three of us, he says, let's go to Queens. There's a lot of bars, restaurants there. And there's a lot of hookers. And they Colombians. Mm-hmm. They got to get us a Colombian connection. I say, okay. That's what I told you. The culture is very important.
Right.
Like if you go to a Puerto Rican neighborhood like that with all that money, you probably get shot, killed, and take your money. The same thing with the blacks.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think Dominicans got lumped in as being really violent in that era because of those other groups.
Exactly.
But you guys weren't really that violent.
No, we. I
mean, you held your own, but
when you violate our space or become my enemy by trying to take me for a ride. But if you were honest in business, like me, myself, with most of my connection, I wouldn't show up with a gun. Mm. There's no need for that. Yeah. My word is good enough. Their word is good enough. Yeah. We got so much money, so many millions of dollars involved in this business. What? You need a war tank? Right. I don't. We don't do that. We don't.
Right. So how old were you when you made your first million?
18 and a half.
How long did it take you from the start of selling drugs to when you made $1 million?
I made $1 million quick because Chito gave me the opportunity.
Yeah. So what would one of those bodegas? What would the revenue be?
That one of Neela's make my first $1 million.
Okay. How much money would it bring in every month? If you're selling 5 kilos a day, 4 kilos a day?
No, because it didn't work like that. Like I just told you. What made me rich was the shortage of cocaine in the city. Because the less cocaine in the city, the more expensive it goes. And if you have money and you have the right connection, you get the stuff yourself, and then you get to put a price on your product. And that's when you make the good money. So it's just like any market, just like the oil market right now or anything, you know.
And when you still are only dealing with Dominican connections, did you open up other bodegas?
No.
Just had that one?
No, I had that one.
Okay.
But then Moreno, I spoke to Moreno, and then, like I said, we went to that bar, in particular in Roosevelt Avenue, and we sat down. We became friends with this blondie, beautiful Colombian girl. We started talking to her. And I myself, I spoke to her and I said, I need a favor from you. What about it? I said, I need a Colombian connection. And then, you know, they always act like they don't know about that. No, what are you talking about? Listen, I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You either trust me or not. But I'm telling you, I need a Colombian connection. I need a kilo right now. And she's like, oh, I don't know. I could ask some friends that I have. And I say, here's my beeper number. There was no cell phones back then on phone. Here's my beeper number. And here's $2,000 for you. Let me know. That's besides what I'm going to give you if you give me something. Give me someone. That same night she calls me. So Adam, come over. Let me talk to you. So I go back with my friend. And then we had a conversation with this guy named Mono. Mono in Colombian language is like Blondie too. They call me Blondie, so we have a similar, you know, name. So the guy sit down with me. Actually, he smokes like a million cigarettes a minute. He's smoking. I hate smoking. I like the big cigar, but I don't like the smoking. And we talk, and he drinks like crazy. And he loves hookers, and I love hookers.
Even back then?
Yeah. So I sit down with the guy, and we're talking. We're fooling around with the girls, and so the guy started to like me. And he says, so what do you want? I say, I want a kilo. There's no stuff. I know there's no stuff in the street. And he goes, so how do I know you're not a cop? I said, very easy. I leave you the money here and I leave. Call me when you got it. You know a cop is not going to do that. Search me. What do you want? I take you to my spot. I'll let you know where I am. Whatever you want to do, just let me know. Whatever it takes. He says, okay, I'll call you back. So the guy sent a message with the girl and the girl says, come and get your stuff. He already left the kilos here. I said, all right. So I go there, grab my kilos, come back.
How many?
1 kilo. There's no stuff in New York. There's nothing.
What did one joint cost you?
$35,000. Wow. So I give him the $35,000. I gave her something. We take the kilos, and then he beeps me. He said, how do you make up? I said, I'm good. He said, so how long is that going to take you to sell that? I said, listen, man, on my way back, someone already beat me. That shit's been sold. He said, so how many kilos can you sell tonight? I say, 5. He says, oh, you could come and get 2. Oh, you got 2? Why didn't you tell me? I would have bring you all the money for 2 or 3. He says, all right, come over, turn around. I say, okay. I go back, got another 2 kilos. By a week and a half or 2 weeks, he was already giving me on consignment 10 kilos, 10 to 15 kilos on consignment. Wow. He wouldn't even want the money. Wow. When I bring the money, he got scared. I'm seriously speaking. Right. He gets scared because when you carry a lot of cash like that, you putting yourself at risk, people to stick you up with the money, and you can lose the money.
Right.
So he's like, don't bring so much money one shot like that. Right. Send one of your guys with 20, with 30, with 20, with 50, and then you give me all the money. Don't send me all the money one shot. We don't deal like that. I said, well, somehow you got to trust me. So, I could move stuff, man. I could move this shit.
And when you're picking up 10 keys from him, are you selling it at wholesale at this point?
No, we're selling. You can't sell a wholesale because it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
You sell half a gram, and we got names for those. We don't call them half a gram or grams. We call it águila, aguilitas.
Eagles and little eagles?
Eagles, big eagles, because they make you fly.
Right,
You know?
right.
So ounces and big eights, which is 125 grams. That's the biggest sale we make, 125 grams.
Okay. And are these mostly neighborhood crack dealers that are buying small amounts?
Crack dealers, and and not even from that neighborhood, from Queens, from South Brooklyn, from Jamaica, Queens, Jamaica,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, credit is one of those things that I wish I understood way earlier. Credit affects everything, like getting approved for an apartment, a car, even the interest rates you pay. And if your score isn't great, it can feel like you're stuck. That's why I want to tell you about Ava, our longtime sponsor. Ava is a credit building app that's designed to work fast and help your credit score where it really matters. So your credit score can start climbing with almost zero effort. What's cool is that instead of using one of those secured cards where you have to lock up your own money, Ava can get you approved for an Ava credit builder card in 5 minutes with up to a $2,500 limit and no credit check. And you don't have to change your habits either. You just pay your normal subscriptions with the Ava credit builder card, and they report these on-time payments to all of the major credit bureaus. So you're building your credit just by doing what you already do. Plus, they can even report things like rent, utilities, and phone bills, even past payments, so all that stuff can actually start working for your credit. Take control of your credit today. Download the Ava app, that's AVA, and when you join using my promo code CONNECT20, that's CONNECT20, you'll get 20% off your first year, monthly or annually. It's your choice. Again, that's the Ava app with promo code CONNECT20 for 20% off. And make sure to get that Ava Credit Builder card. Thanks to Ava. Now go get yourself some good credit.
And how did it get out that your spot was the best?
We're famous in East New York. We are famous. My spot was famous. Wow. As a matter of fact, most of it among Jamaican guys. Because Jamaicans, they like crack. They like to sell crack. And my stuff was pure cocaine from the cartel of Medellin. Mm-hmm. They had the Centavo and Reina. Those are the best cocaine. The best. Mm-hmm. When they put it on the pot and they put the baking soda, that shit is a big con-con. We call it con-con like the rice hard part in the bottom.
Right.
It gets really hard, really fast.
Locks up immediately.
The other type of cocaine, when you throw it in there, it's like bubble gum. It's not. You gotta wait like 3 hours for the shit to get hard.
Right.
My cocaine, you put it in there, and that shit is hard like in seconds.
Yeah.
That's how you tell that this is a pure cocaine. Right. We don't put cut on that shit. No. We don't touch that. Yeah. From the kilo, open it, it's there. It's pure. Yeah. There's no way.
Beautiful.
We don't touch it. I don't let none of my guys touch my shit.
So to sell 10 keys, that's 10,000 grams. I mean, that's like hundreds of customers.
Yeah.
Now, is the store open 24 hours?
I got to open it 24 hours after a while, yeah. And that's when I get to make Mike, because he was working night shift.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a sec. Now, you're in East New York. That seems so dangerous.
You don't see danger when you're young like that.
Of course not, right?
You don't. I at my age now, I get scared of a lot of things. Not because I'm afraid, because I'm afraid only of the consequences.
But of course.
Not that I'm afraid of getting shot or shooting somebody. I wouldn't shoot anybody. As a matter of fact, I had a fight the other day. I had a fight like 3 months ago. I had a fight with a guy.
A fist fight?
A fist fight. I couldn't believe what I did, but I did. I was drunk. I was drinking like crazy.
You're 60. You're getting in fist fights?
A big fist fight. With a young guy.
I love the Dominicans.
But it would be funny what happened. You will laugh for what I did. Nobody expect me to react like this. My old times came back to me. I was in front of I got a funda. I got a place that sells food. And I'm right in front of the store. And I'm drinking and smoking cigar, and girls pass by. I always, hey, mommy, oh, yo, que chula tu estás. That's me, right? So that's her neighborhood. So all of a sudden, I seen this guy beating the crack out of this other guy. Like, basically, the guy's on the floor, and the other guy's on top of him. Boom, boom, boom. And I look this way, and I look the other way. Isn't anybody going to do something about it? But the guy who's on the bottom is a crackhead. They call it pipero here. Pipero means like a pipe. The guy that does the pipe. Mm-hmm. He's a pipero. But why is he beating the shit out? I don't know. He's getting the biggest big now. So this other guy come and try to defend him, and the guy pushed him and just keep going crazy on him. I just got up and went on the guy, pushed him right in the face, and started fighting with the guy. The guy's young. He's a young guy. I can't control this guy. I can't. I did the best I can. The guy ends up on top of me. Thank God, there's a whole bunch of people there that know me, and they grab the guy and they say, "That's Adam. What are you doing?" And he goes, "Why you punch me in the face?" And they go, "Well, Adam is drunk. He doesn't know what he's doing." And the guy goes, "I don't give a shit. He punched me in my face. He punched me right in my tooth." And then I'm drunk, so I got back up again, and I'm ready to fight again. They basically got to grab me, put me in my business, and lock the door.
So you've always been about that mess.
Yeah,
So,
and the guy, and then, but it's funny how the guy came back that same night. He came back, and he says to me, "I'm sorry, man." And I say, but I'm still screaming at the guy, goes, "I'm drunk." The guy's not drunk, I'm drunk. And the guy goes, "I'm sorry, man, I don't have a problem with you, but you punched me, man. I got to go crazy on you." And this is a young guy. This guy is less than 30 years old. He could have practically beat the crap out of me. Young guy.
But back in the day, you got a lot of responsibility, even though you are young, you're in your 20s. I mean, to run an operation like that is like
I had an operation when I was 17, 16.
So now do you keep all...
It wasn't my business, but I was running the place for big drug dealer, you know what I mean? Luis used to come to Dominican and leave the store open for me, and I was selling 2-3 kilos, so divided in half a grams. And that's a lot of half a grams, trust me.
Yeah.
That's a lot of... He ends up getting arrested on that store when I left.
Right. Wow.
After I shoot that guy.
So now you're with the Colombians.
Yeah. The guy called Mono, he works with the Medellin cartel, and that was big.
Okay.
And they were giving me whatever I asked.
Right. Okay, so...
That's one time they said, "We got 5,000 kilos." And I said, "No." They say, "Why not?" I say, that's a lot of stuff. And if the price goes down, then what? Are you willing to work it out? And if the cops raid my place and take all that stuff, are you willing to work it out with me? You're not gonna kill me, right? "Oh no, once you take that, you're responsible." "Oh, there you go. I don't want to be responsible for so much stuff." Right. Give it to me by the 100 and I don't have a problem with it. I could pay 100 kilos. Right. I'm not gonna pay for 100 kilos. I saw that.
5,000 bricks.
And 5,000 bricks is a lot of,
So you picking up 100 at a time from them?
100, 200, 300 at a time. Depends how the market was moving in.
Right.
And I got to the point where I'm not selling. As a matter of fact, by 1988, I got rid of the half a grams and the 3.5. I gave it to a friend of mine. He opened up a grocery store, and you're not gonna believe it. That grocery store is still under my name.
To this day?
This day, yeah. In Brooklyn, he's a taxi driver. He asked me, he said, "Adam, please help me. I want to make money." I said, "All right, go get a place. I'll rent it for you. I'll put my credit and everything in between, whatever." Because remember, I'm a drug dealer. I'm making big sales of cocaine, but I'm also a businessman. My store is under my name.
Isn't that dangerous? How sketchy is that?
It is, but you don't have a brain when you're young. You don't.
Right.
I mean, I corrected my brother-in-law for doing that later on in 1988, but I did it back in 87.
Right.
1986.
Now, would you keep hundreds of kilos in the store?
No.
Where would you keep how
In
that
the Bronx, I have a laboratory in the Bronx. I had a laboratory in Brooklyn, 2 or 3.
Okay.
I have all the grocery store apartments. You don't keep stuff in the store.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, this is New Lux Avenue, right? This is Vermont, and this is New Lux. My building, it was my building, 4-floor building. It was mine.
Oh, you bought the whole building?
Yeah, I bought the whole building from my. That building belonged to my aunt, my mother's sister, and I bought it from her son.
Wow.
I bought it, and the building next to it is burned. It's a burned building. It's empty, and it has the metal thing on the front door. You don't see nothing. So what I did was I opened up the brick wall. I made a small window like that where you could go through. And then on the bottom of that, I made a hole through my basement, and I made a whole system. Okay, they do it now on the banks. They got the air system.
Right.
And that's where when you send the money and bring the money and the drugs, that's what I used to do.
So somebody would come in.
They go into my grocery store bathroom, and then on that bathroom, they'll tell the guy that's on the other side of the wall, 0.5 gram or a kilo or whatever, and the guy will send it through, and then the customer will see that you came out of the bathroom, but they don't know where the shit was really.
Right. Right.
Nobody even knows.
They don't know that it's going down.
And then we have
basement.
movie traps. We like when you open up the window on my building. Okay, this is my building. This is my store. I bring the stuff up to the second floor. From the second floor, I open up a window to go to the next building. From the next building, you go down to the basement. From that basement, you go through the wall to my grocery store.
Wow. It's a tunnel.
They raided my place like 5 times, and they didn't find shit.
So, and then you could close up in the bathroom where the worker was giving the drugs out. You could just like, there was like a brick that you could just put in place?
No, it was like a huge pipe, like a big toilet pipe. You turn it, and if the cops go in, this toilet pipe, there's nothing here. Wow. No, cops know. They know when you have a picture on the wall, they saying that shit, they know. They even look at the floor, the wood floor, and see if there's any wood, missing or moving, because they know how drug dealers actually act. So you have to use your imagination.
Right.
So cops don't find your shit.
So you would keep the work in the building next door that was abandoned and burnt out.
Yeah.
And whenever you needed, how many people did you have working
And I had an evacuation system too, through like 3 blocks from there.
You had like an emergency exit.
Yeah, because the buildings, they connected to each other. New York is like that.
Yeah.
Because I used to do it when I was a kid too, on the roof. That's why they passed the law where when you have a building in New York, you have to basically divide it with the wires and stuff. But back in the 80s, it wasn't like that. Wow. So those buildings in Brooklyn were connected. Every backyard of those buildings, they were connected. So when the cop raided my place, by the time they go to the basement, my guys are like 5 blocks away.
Yeah, they're like squirrels. They're just bouncing from one rooftop to the next.
That's the right word. I didn't even think it like that, but yeah.
That's crazy. How many people did you have working in this?
12 guys, 14 guys at a time. Yeah, well, it's if you look on public information, you can find it. My first group that got arrested, 14 guys, no, 8 guys on New Latam, Vermont. They got them New Latam, Vermont. I was in Dominican. Both times they got arrested. And then the second group that got arrested on Van Sicklen and Atlantic, that was 12 guys or 14 guys. I'm not sure. I don't remember the number, but it's like that. They even put them in front of the building, took a picture, the press took a picture and say, Elvis Quesada was my brother-in-law. He was in charge. Elvis Quesada from Washington Heights has a drug factory in Brooklyn. It's New York, Brooklyn.
And that's so crazy. You had a whole operation. So what is 12 guys? How many are lookouts? How many are pitchers? How many are runners? Explain that whole, the whole operation.
Like, they busted my place on Van Sicklen and Atlantic. I was in Dominican. There was a guy in front of the door. I rented the 4th floor on that building, and I had a girlfriend on the 3rd floor working for me too. And on the 4th floor, I had the guys bagging up the cocaine. And then they bring it down, because that's when they raided my place on New Lights. So I had to move my customers to 2 different places. But in that place in particular, they used to bring the drugs to the stairs when whoever wants anything, and they, I'm moving big shit now. And they come and get it, and okay. You have a doorman, a lookout door too on the outside, because you got a guy inside who will open the door, and you got a guy outside who will knock on the door. He had to see the guy's face in order to open the door. Then you go into the store, and then you got 2 guys at the counter, 2 guys in the back, and 1 guy at the door, at the front door of the store.
And are they strapped?
2 of them. two of them, and then one outside in a car. Wow. Because as a matter of fact, that day that they raided that place, one of my guys who became a government informant and who got killed later on, of course. Nelson Rivers. Nelson had an Uzi. And when the feds came, because that's when the federal government took over the drug cases, they declared the drugs, the war on drugs.
Right.
So now we got feds coming after us. We didn't know that. So they came into the store and there was an informant, Dominican guy who was an agent, and then there's a Panamanian guy who was an informant, and then there was this white guy. They came in, Elvis made a mistake, sold 2 kilos to the government agent and the government informant. And so when they raided the place, the guys that I have working for me with straps, they thought it was a stick-up, not really the cops. So Nelson grabbed the Uzi and put it on the stomach on a federal agent. And so the agent goes, I'm a federal agent, and grab the patch out, say, I'm a federal agent. But the guy that I had there, Nelson, he wasn't scared. This guy was like a sicario. He's like, I'm gonna take you out. It's like, so the Panamanian guy goes, manito. He is a federal guy, don't do it. Don't mess with that. So he dropped the gun, he dropped the Uzi. And I'm talking, my guys, they all have bulletproof vests.
Wow, yeah.
So there's a whole confusion in there. Why? Because you got federal guys coming in with bulletproof vests, dressing as a civilian, and then you got my guys in there with bulletproof vests and guns up in the air. So it could have been a major shootout in there, you know what I mean?
Well, one of my favorite parts of the documentary, the 7-5, was the story of you guys actually getting stuck up.
Yeah.
Can you tell that again? I don't believe you were there, right? You were gone.
No. At that same store that the cops got my guys, that's why I got stick up. And that's why that store got hot. That's why the feds raided that place.
So it was like a crazy stick-up kid from the neighborhood, right?
Yeah, his name is Franklin. He was not even a bad kid. He was married to a girl that I know named Jackie. Beautiful, pretty girl. And I knew her, and she was very close to the family and everything. But he was a nice kid. But then he started being a pipehead. He started doing crack. He started going crazy with the drugs. And we used to get along, but all of a sudden, he stick up one of my cousins. He killed a friend of mine. He's such a bad kid. He killed the guy, put him in the black bag, and left it at the park. Put him in a big garbage bag.
Yeah.
Put him his name is Frank, and the other guy's name is Franklin. So, and he's got a partner in crime called Coke, who also gets along with me. But they're not doing that, to me, they're doing that to one of my cousins, to Chito, to the other guy that happens to build another spot somewhere else. But they respect me, they won't fuck with me. But Franklin killed that friend of mine, and I was like, shit, this guy's out of hand. And then I didn't pay attention to it because my spot was working brilliant, like everything was nice and dandy, everything was working fine. I think it was December. Yeah, it was December, around December. We were making like crazy money, and I came to Dominican. And no. That was when I got arrested. I went to Manhattan that night. I was driving a black Ninja, Kawasaki Black, 1000 Ninja. I love bikes. So I left and I went to Manhattan. And when I'm over there, they call me up and they say, Adam, they stick up your place. What do you mean they stick up my place? I was just there just now. They say they probably were waiting for you to leave. So I left. I jumped to Brooklyn. When I go there, shit. So everything was a mess. And so they threw a guy from the third floor, they threw a guy down. One of my employees, he got hurt, really hurt. He didn't get killed, but he really got hurt on his legs. And my brother-in-law almost got killed. And they shoot and everything, but thank God they didn't kill anybody. And they took like over $700,000. That's besides the drugs. So
700,000, would that just be like one day's work?
maybe less, not because when there's more money than that. Well, I don't wait for the whole day to go by to pick up money. I send money to the Bronx a couple of times a day. You just can't leave all that money in there.
I was going to ask.
As a matter of fact, I was upset because there was so much money in there. Why there was still so much money here? Why? Our money should have been out of here.
Right.
We don't keep that much money, Every $200,000, $300,000 out of here,
Right.
out of here. We don't need the money. We need the money in the connection pocket. That's what we need. We don't need the money in the spot.
And they ran off with drugs too. They got coke.
Yeah. So, and there was like 5 guys that did that, but the head guy is Franklin. So now I'm after Franklin. I'm going right after this guy. And at the end he got killed.
He ended up dead.
Yeah.
Right. That's we'll leave it at that.
So
Did you ever get any of the drugs back?
no, one of those guys take drugs and take money. They waste that shit in no time. Because they on drugs, then they got poor family. They split the money. And that's like 5 guys. They're gonna split the money.
Right. And it's such small potatoes for you. You're making like $1 million a day out of the joint. Okay, so it's 1988, 89, right? You're what, like 25 years old?
I'm 21, almost 22.
And how many keys are you moving, say, a month for the Colombians?
It all depends, man, because the spot was making a lot of sales. But the quantity of kilo sales was not made out of the stores, because now I have people that are interested in my stuff in Manhattan, in Queens, in Brooklyn, but not in my area. And they will call and say, do you have stuff? We need stuff, whatever. I have good connection now. And I say, I got stuff. Can you send me 10 kilos? No problem.
So you're dealing with high level.
I make 1,000, 2,000 out of each kilo because they connections. They don't represent any competition on my area.
Right.
So I sell them and that way I get better prices. That's why I told you at the beginning of the conversation, when I had that conversation with that Colombian guy, Mono, when he tried to say, with the price, and I say, I'm selling a lot of stuff for you guys. You got to give me good price because the price is going down in the market. And, if you already have 5,000, 7,000 kilos hiding somewhere and you pay too much money for it, that's not my fault. That's the reason I don't take a lot of stuff one shot. I don't do that. I prefer to take 100 at a time, 200 at a time, 500 at a time, depends.
So you kept the bodega business going.
All the time.
And then you've got your wholesale customers.
Exactly, somewhere else.
And were these mostly other Dominicans or black
Dominicans,
guys?
black, because I got blacks that were very, very powerful too.
Really?
I mean, let me tell you, I had a customer, Leroy, his name is Leroy. Leroy came one time, parked his Mercedes-Benz, because that's something also, in the drug dealing industry, you got smart guys and you got stupid guys. What are you doing with a black Mercedes in East New York with $300,000 in the back of your trunk? Cops tap this kind of vehicles all the time. You can't do that, man. Drive a taxi, go in a taxi, go in a little cheap car. As a matter of fact, I used to send some of my guys to Manhattan in the train.
With the bag full of...
I had a van full of paint, big cans of paint, 5 gallons a piece. And that shit was full of coke from Manhattan to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And the guys, they're all messed up with paint.
Right.
You can't drive an expensive car with full of coke or money, man.
Right.
Okay. Back in the 80s, the cops stopped you all the time. They even check your spare wheel, man.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
So the thing is that the connection back then, like the Mono, he's like, you got to give me a good price because, I got big customers. And if the price goes down, that's not my fault. I gotta make my moves. And if you don't make a good deal with me, I'm gonna make a deal with somebody else.
Yeah.
I had more connections, you know what I mean?
Right. So how much money were you making a week?
Like I say, it all depends. Sometimes you got slow weeks, but you got to put it this way. Major sales, you make it sometimes. The store was a steady sell.
Yeah.
So I used to sell like about 18 kilos a day to 18 to 25 kilos a day, most of the time.
Just out of that bodega?
No.
Or all
4 bodegas. I have 8 bodegas one shot. Not because they were operating at the same time, but because when this bodega gets hot, I go to this other bodega. All these other bodegas.
And you would just move your customers wherever you were going?
Cops got so upset at me one time. They got so upset at me, they set fire on one of my stores. Set up a fire on my... They kick all my guys out. That was on Blake and Sheffield. They kicked all the guys out of my store. They couldn't find any drugs. And they kicked them out, and they set the place on fire.
Did you have fire insurance? Did you get that money back? Did you get compensated for it?
No, this is a situation, because they're smart. They know what they're doing. This was a burned building, and when the building got burned, the first floor was safe. Nothing happened to the first floor. So the building owner rent me the place, and I made my spot there.
Right.
But the rest of the apartments were burned. There was nobody living there. That's why they did that. They'd be like, all right, so Adam got a drug spot here. They already knew me.
Right.
They set this shit on fire. He's the only one here anyway. Who cares?
Right.
They burned my place that way.
Wow, bro. New York in the 80s, bro. Cops would do that.
And the guys that were working for me, they were crying. Basically crying. Why are you crying, man? We criminals.
Yeah.
What the f you talking about?
And you got 8 different bodegas all in East New York?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's besides the apartments.
Right.
A lot of apartments.
So you owned apartments to rent out or to work in?
To work the drugs.
Yeah.
To have the money, people bagging up the drugs.
How many
It's
people?
like a factory style thing.
How many people end to end, from the people bagging up in the laboratories to your couriers driving the work from wherever, say Washington Heights to Brooklyn?
I got my main guys. When I hire a guy, the first thing I give the guy is a car and a gun. He's a vehicle and a gun. It's yours. Even if you stop working for me, it's your shit. It's not mine. I don't know what you did with that gun. I don't want it back. You get the car and you get the gun. Find somebody to put that car on whose name, whatever, that's none of my business. Here, and do you. And so that's what they do. And then they work for me. They need a few thousand because, most people that start working drugs, they're doing bad economically. And they need help. So what they do is like, help me out, Adam. All right, here's a few $1,000s. Here's a car, here's a gun. Now you're working for me. Now what? Now you're going to do this. This is what you're going to do until we trust you. So they start driving for me. My girls, the guys that work for me, and stuff like that. That's how they start. And then depends how smart they are, how they do. Like I had a taxi driver working for me. How did he start working for me? I used to call that taxi company, got the car in my hand, and I used to come and pick me up. He picks me up, takes me to Brooklyn. So he takes me to Brooklyn. Then nighttime comes. Are you still working, my man? Yeah, come and pick me up at the store. The guy picks me up. The fucking guy ended up to be an ex-military guy for the Dominican government here in Dominican from back in the 70s. Tough guy. He knows about guns. He knows about a lot of military shit. And then we started trusting each other. And then Adam, help me out, please. I want to make money. Because I give the guy good money every time. I don't pay him like a taxi driver. I pay him good money. And then that's when I know what you're doing, Adam, help me out. But the guy ended up to be one of my best managers.
Really?
Yeah. He even take my guys to a shooting place to practice. He said, you got guys that come from Dominican, you got guys that from Brooklyn, and you give them a gun, but they never shot anybody. They never shoot a gun, basically. Yeah. But you asking the guy to protect the store. No, you got to take the guy so he could shoot at a range and lose the panic about how the gun sound and everything, and that makes sense.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. What do you think your overhead was? Like, because everybody was just on salary, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like you were cutting people in on the profits. What do you think your salary was like every week? What did you
I
have
don't
to
see
pay
it like that because my money was always moving. At the end of my career in the drug business, I lost a lot of money because I started to be greedy. Not greedy, not paying what I had to pay, but greedy in a way like I didn't even want to have a connection. I want to become a connection myself. So I started getting involved with some guys, Dominican guys and Colombian guys, where he'll make an investment, I'll make an investment, and we have stuff coming from Colombia.
Okay, so that's the next step. When does that come in? What year is that?
That was like right before I got arrested. That was beginning of 1989.
Before we talk about that, the cops, Mike Dowd. What year did you meet now internet famous Mike Dowd?
That was like at the end of 86.
Okay. So, and you go watch the documentary if you don't know he and Mike's relationship. Mike Dowd is a typical Irish Brooklyn cop.
Head.
Yeah. Had a little bit of a
Women
coke
lover.
problem. Yeah, absolutely. Not much has changed. And you were working with him, or he was working with you. He was feeding you information.
Yeah.
How many guys did you have? How many cops did you have on payroll?
Well, I had Mike and Kenny. But Kenny had like 8 or 12 other guys. Because every time there was an operation going for me, I seen them. Cheeky, Walter, there was, and a lot of other guys.
Right.
So I wouldn't talk to them. Like they would say, hello, Adam, hi, Adam, with respect. But there was not a conversation, a serious conversation between me and those guys.
Right. Just you, Kenny, and Mike.
Me, Kenny, and Guy, and Cheeky. Cheeky was like, and then Walter at the end. Walter was like at the end of my career.
How much were you paying him?
I paid Mike $8,000 for him and Kenny.
$8,000 a week?
A week. But they make a lot more money than that. Because every time I send them to do something, I give them $20,000, $25,000, $30,000.
What would you send him to do?
A lot of stuff. As a matter of fact, I was gonna kill this kid. Coke. As a matter of fact, Coke.
Right, Coke.
Which I did. I didn't, not that I killed him, but I shot him. This guy was so tough. I put an Uzi on his chest right here. I put an Uzi right there. And he thought it was one of his guys. And he was like, take that shit off my face. Take that shit off my chest. And I just go, boop. He couldn't believe it.
You sprayed him?
Yeah, I sprayed him. I was like, and the guy was like, he tried to look at me, it was too late. I was already gone. And then the guys, and I came with 2 more other guys, and the other 2 guys started shooting at the people around him. And we left. We just took off. The guy made it.
Crazy.
2 times that happens to me, 2 times. And the guy made it. And then at the hospital, I tried to kill him, but they had him at the nurse office was right next to his bed. I couldn't kill him. But the guy, Barron gave me an idea. Barron was like, well, no, he does morphine. He does, heroin. Why don't you send him a big shot of heroin so he could just pass away? I said, fine, let's do that. We couldn't do it. The guy was right next to the office right there. We couldn't do it. We couldn't do the guy.
So you wouldn't hesitate, even though you were making millions of dollars a week, you were still on that gangster shit.
Frankie shot at me with an Uzi. That's how our shit started. Because he killed that guy named Frank, and I said, it's none of my business. But I knew the guy, and I don't want to, don't be my friend no more, but don't come around me, don't mess with me. But then Franklin almost got shot by somebody. I don't know who he got a problem with somebody else. He had a problem with everybody because he was a shootout kid, a stick-up kid. Yeah, he's going to have a problem with people, not me, because he didn't have any personal thing with me. But then somehow people think it's me, and it got to him. And I'm in my corner. I'm in running the store in my corner with this black guy. As a matter of fact, I have my black ninja there, and he has a red Kawasaki there because he likes bike. I like bike, and we're talking. He's a customer. And all of a sudden, Franklin shows up like more than a half a block away, and he started shooting with a Uzi like this, both hands. I remember. It goes, and the bullets are hitting my corner, and I'm like, and the guy goes, "Is that guy shooting at us?" I say, "I guess so." So I go on the floor. I go right into my store. I grab my shotgun. I had a rifle that you could shoot, deer, but I also had a shotgun. So I grabbed my shotgun, I come right out, and I started shooting at him too. He started running. He ran, and then what the f is wrong with this dude, man? And then we're hunting for him. Hunting this guy all over East New York. And then this friend of mine that I told you before, this other taxi driver, Henry, knew him, knew me. He said, "Come on, man, you guys were friends." I say, "Listen, the guy tried to shot at me. He already killed somebody I know. He already talking about hitting my family. I don't know what the f is wrong with him, but we're gonna stop this guy." And so Franklin arranged a meeting with me, and Henry arranged a meeting with me and Franklin. And we arranged the meeting, we talked, we had a conversation, and I said, "What's your f***ing problem?" He said, "You know why I killed that guy, Frank?" I said, "Yeah, tell me, why you killed him?" He said, "Because he had me working for a few months in this spot, and then he didn't want to pay me enough, and then he has someone that's my enemy working with him, and then he gave me this story." I said, "But it's still not a reason for you to kill this guy. We have plenty of problems between us already, and then what the f, man?" And then he's like, "All I want is some help, man. I'm doing really bad, but I know he's just a crackhead." Mm. So I gave him like $100,000.
What?
Yeah, like $100,000. I said, "I'm gonna give you some money, go to Dominican Republic or go somewhere else, get the f away from me. I don't wanna see you." And then I remember this girl named Hilda, that was with me. She said, "You should give him just $10,000. I said, "I gave him $10,000 like a few months ago, so you could just leave everybody alone. Let's give him real money so he can just disappear."
This is the guy I just want to remind people that you shot all those years ago in the Lower East Side. And then you give him $100,000.
Yeah. So the guy left.
That's fair. It's good
took
of you.
over and left, and then he disappeared like for a few months. But then he came back after a few months, like I say, and stick on my place on Sickland. Threw a guy up the third floor with the guy named Coke too.
So, but Mike and the cops, you would send them to locate people?
Well, it's funny. That's how the conversation started. That when I went to do that, I made arrangements with Mike and Kenny. I say, we're gonna get this work done. And how we're gonna do this? I need your help, Mike. He goes, "How?" I say, "As soon as we shoot this guy, I want you to be first one on the call. Be around." "When are you gonna do this, Adam?" I say, "Tonight." No, it was late afternoon, almost dark, but not dark yet. And and then and that was exactly how it happened. They were first time on the scene, and that was it. But the guy didn't get killed. He didn't die.
Blew it.
And no, that's not even funny. What's not even real funny is we shot a guy 29 times and the guy didn't get killed either.
Crazy. But then I'm sure you shot somebody with one bullet who died.
Well, that same guy that got shot 29 times and didn't die, not 29, 27 times, and didn't die. That's on the record too. That's on the newspaper.
Right.
He didn't die. That was my first informant. Okay.
I wonder why.
Yeah. And it was Mike, and it was actually it was Walter that told me he's an informant and showed me the paperwork. Wow. I pay him for that. I need to know who's talking on the Elvis side of the case.
Right.
He told me this guy. I said, all right, I got it.
Wow.
But he didn't die.
And Mikey Kenny, they also let you know about the big
Busted.
bust.
Yeah, they did that. They did that on Van Sicklen one time, and they did it at New Lights one time. And they raided a couple of places for me, like 4 places. They raided for me. Yeah.
They raided places for you. What was that about?
Well, I read, the guys that were giving me a hard time trying to steal my customers, and I gave them the last call. I said, listen, leave my customers alone. Please, I don't want no wars, because you don't need that. You don't need the shooting. You don't need the, please. But none of them, nobody knew I had the cops. Nobody knew.
Right.
Nobody knew about me and Mike.
Thick as thieves.
So I had Mike and his guys raid those places. I say, I go to this place. I want everybody on the floor. The drugs are over there. Take it, it's yours. Wow. Take the money, take the drugs. So who knows how many times Mike, because he never told me, I found 8 kilos, or I found 10, or I found 5. I say, I don't want to know. Wow. That's your call. Them up, slap people around, slap them real vibe, make them be scared to come back.
Right.
And that's it.
So that's how you would run the competition off.
Yes.
But you still had the Colombian powder. You still had the best product.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, your shit was going to move. Why did you decide, okay, you know what? I want to be the importer. I want to be bringing it. I don't want to, because even though you're making millions of dollars, at the end of the day, you're still the middleman between the connect and the street. Why did you decide, I want to start funding, the transport?
That happens automatically. That happens when you got money. I met this guy named Johnny. Johnny, the Fat Johnny. They call him Fat Johnny. As a matter of fact, it's a coincidence that Johnny got killed in my Ninja.
On your Ninja?
Yeah. I gave it to him as a gift because I brought this Ninja bike to Dominican. And when he saw it, he fell in love with it. He's a bike lover like me, but he's fat. He's like a thick guy. But I never seen a fat guy moving so fast like this. This guy moves fast. He's good with his fingers. Like, I will have a problem grabbing a little screw, like a little screw. This guy got thick fingers like that. He grabs a screw like this, and he put it where it belongs. I'm like, this guy's talented guy. And he rides bikes really fast. That's what killed him. And I gave him that bike for free. He said, I like that bike. I don't sell it to me, sell it to me. And I said, you really like it, Johnny? He says, yeah, it's yours, here.
What did Johnny have to do with?
Because Johnny was also with Medellin cartel, but some of the channels, people that I don't know. Mm-hmm. They called this guy, this big Colombian guy, Little John. Big young guy, just like the old one I have. Little John was huge, but he was very respectful, and he a very powerful kid, young kid, but very powerful in drug business. He brought all his shit from Miami. And Johnny says, this is how it works, Adam. That's not our connection. We make an investment with them, and they bring the shit, and we split the money. So I started taking risks. That's why I say sometimes you make a few millions of dollars, but you always lose money. Always, all the time you lose money. You lose and you gain. You gain and you lose. It's always like that. The game is like that. Even after, because I started dealing drugs in the 80s, and then I went in due time, and then I came back out in December 1994, and I went right back in the game. Mm-hmm. And I was doing the same thing.
So you were given how much you were going in with Johnny?
$6 million, $4 million, depends. They put another $4 million, the other guy put $5 million, and that's the way they do.
How many keys are you getting out of that?
I can't tell you right now. It's like, it depends on the price back then. I can't recall right now. To be honest, I can't recall. But most of the kilos I sell, most of them.
But if you're putting in $4 million, you got to be getting 1,000 kilos out of that.
More than that. But they bring in the kills, but they're afraid to sell it.
Right.
I'm the only one with the balls to sell it in the street. They don't have the balls to sell it in the street. They don't want I'm doing the dirty job.
Yeah, you're doing the dirty job, but you're also importing it. So
Yes.
you're trying to like vertically integrate.
Yeah.
Wow. So now when you're making these big buys, do you grow your wholesale customers? Do you get more people?
No,
or you just keep it the same?
No, you gotta remember, certain markets, they only hold so much. Okay? Because you gotta remember now, the war on drugs is on. A lot of spots are going down.
Mm-hmm.
I even have mafia Italian guys coming asking me for work.
Really?
Mafia Italian guys ask me for work.
Wow.
Yeah. They come, please Adam, we need work.
Wow.
Because their connection got,
Yeah.
and I'm like, whatever, man.
Mm-hmm. You deal with them?
Yeah. I give them a lot of work.
Who are your best customers? Wholesale customers?
Wholesales, Jamaican guys.
Yeah.
Because they don't ask questions. Like I said, like I was telling you about that Mercedes-Benz guy, Leroy. I never forget his name, Jamaican guy. He came and parked a Mercedes-Benz 3 blocks away from my store, left $300,000 in there so he could buy some stuff from me because there's no stuff in the street. I said, okay. Well, he's having a conversation with me. The cops raided his Mercedes. Took the Mercedes, took the money, and left. He got in the taxi, came back with another $300,000. That's how much money the guy had. God, I need my stuff out. Don't give it to nobody else. I'm coming right back with money.
Right.
I'll tell you, the guy got money. It's no joke.
Wild. Were you selling to any of those like hood guys from Harlem? Those black guys like Alpo or Richard Porter, those kind of like famous street dudes?
No.
You didn't deal with anybody in Harlem?
I don't like those guys from uptown. I met the famous Fran Lucas. I met him when I was a kid, working for my brother Truki in 107th Street and Manhattan Avenue. I met him.
No shit.
Because Lucas used to give my brother drugs.
Right. This is after he was done with heroin. He was dealing cocaine.
I don't know when was it really, because I was a kid and I don't recall exactly, but I remember it was him. Because his name and everything else, and his partner, the other guy, I forgot the name of his other partner. That's why I put 2 and 2 together. So, these guys, I know these guys.
Wow.
But my brother didn't have any connection, no Colombian connection or nothing. My brother used to move like ounces and big A's and stuff. So Lucas was looking out for him.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
Wild. The king of Harlem.
Yeah.
Did you ever deal with like the Supreme team out of Queens or anybody like that?
No. My shit was just Brooklyn when I became big, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Brooklyn is New York. Manhattan, some sort of Manhattan.
Right.
But only big guys, and when it's small customer, it was just guys that were selling cracks, that's all.
Right. So you move a ton of cocaine, you're making what? You think you're making $1 million a week?
More than that.
Yeah?
Of course.
How much do you think you're making?
Maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes, depends, that all depends. But like I say, you make that much money, but then you lose money too. And people get arrested all the time. You pay a fortune to these lawyers.
So, and were you sending some of that money? You were sending it back here?
A lot of money to Dominican.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buying properties?
Yeah.
And there was no extradition laws at this time, correct?
No.
Okay, tell us about that, because this is...
Well, if you read a book, this guy named Joe Travolta.
Who?
Travolta, the guy, the cop.
John Travolta? That's what it
Joe
sounded like.
Travolta. Joe Travolta. He's the guy who wrote a book named Good Cop, Bad Cop about Mike and I. And he's the one that testified also against us. And he was the one, he lasted like a few years trying to get us, and he couldn't get us. Joe Hall's partner, narcotic chief. Joe Travolta is the guy that hated Mike and wanted to get Mike so bad. He's in the documentary.
Right. Okay, I remember him.
Okay? And he wrote a book named Good Cop, Bad Cop. And he wrote that, and he wrote in a couple of pages, he wrote it very clear. He says, we try to extradite Adam Diaz from the Dominican Republic, but the Dominican Republic is a country full of tips. And Adam Diaz had them all paid off.
Did you have cops down here?
No, I got big military guys back then. But
Military guys.
Not anymore. Now, is amazingly, I belong to this religious group called Emmaus. And sometimes I go to the penitentiaries and teach the guys English, and we do special things for them.
Okay, that's cool. So you're sending money back here, and you're just buying real estate? Are you developing real estate, or are you
developing and buying real estate?
Wow.
And like I say, and then back then, you know, now I have like I know a couple of generals, but they like very honest guys, and they know I'm out the game definitely.
Yeah.
And they even ask me, I don't, because they amazed about my story, and they like, please tell me, and they sit me down and question me, and they ask me. They even gave me a badge for a private investigator, because I did a course about private investigating. I was going to do an agency, but then I stopped, and they gave me a badge for that. So I'm a legally private investigator in the Dominican Republic.
Wow. Now, at this time, I imagine that's why probably a lot of Dominican drug dealers from New York and from the States, if they would get a case, if they could bond out, they would just fly back here. Because then you
get away with it.
You get away with it. That's probably why a lot of money was coming back here.
There's a famous guy that they accused him of killing a cop back in the 70s, late 70s. His name is Justino de los Santos. I met this guy. I know this guy. He had a club in one of the provinces called 7-Eleven, and I met the guy personally, drug dealer, and they accused him of killing a cop back in the late 70s, which I don't think it was him, but it was at his place, and there's a conspiracy in there somehow.
Right.
And they tried to extradite this guy so bad.
Yeah.
You know, the cop's family, they tried it, and they couldn't do it.
Now, why was that?
Because I think the economy back then was so slow in the Dominican Republic, and the government knew all these drug dealers were bringing so much money by the millions.
Right.
And the guy back then, his name is the Presidente Balaguer, very old guy. He got nothing to lose. He could die tomorrow. Who cares? 90 years old president. Yeah. He's blind already.
Yeah. And he doesn't care about
shit about the states. Yeah. Nothing. And as a matter of fact, they grabbed a guy. The FBI came into the country, grabbed a guy for doing something similar, not killing a cop, but something that got to do with laundering a lot of make fake dollars and stuff. And they try to send him back, and they arrest his ass, and they put him in the prison here, and they were about to extradite him, but guess what the president did? The president killed him before. I'm going to kill him before I send him, but I'm not going to send him. Yeah. But he's going to get, and he killed the guy.
He killed him?
No, the guy.
Had him killed?
The guy is called Palacio Nacional, of National Palace, where they have this type of prisoners, right? They couldn't put him in a regular prison, so they put him there. And it's like a third floor. It's like in a building, apartment building, and it's like offices, and it's like a third floor. They threw him up the third floor down, and then they probably put him in the ambulance and then killed the guy, killed him. But he's not going back to the States.
Yeah. Okay, so it's 89. You eventually, how'd you catch your case? The feds finally got you.
Well. And I always try to tell all these young kids this shit, right? My advice to all these young drug dealers, right? I said, you don't want to bring cops' attention. Don't kill people. Don't shoot. Don't try violence, zero violence. Even if it costs you a lot of money, and even if you have to walk away from crime, don't shoot anybody. That's what's gonna bring cops' attention. That's what happens to the Italian mafia and all the mafias.
Of course.
You stop violence, they're coming after you.
Yeah.
Don't bring, it happens to the blacks, to the Spanish, to the Italian, to everybody else. And I said, I learned that from my life on crime.
So were you guys dropping too many bodies?
No. Thank God. I shot people, I did. I'm not gonna, I don't blame. And anybody that I shot did deserve it. Deserve
Fair.
it, trust me.
I believe it.
I didn't go out there and try to look for trouble. But we shot that guy 27 times, like I said. And that was the last person I shot. And right after that, I got arrested.
Okay. And the feds, this was the DEA.
Yeah, the federal got me. I'll never forget that day because the guy's been such a long time after me that he said, that's Adam. The rest of the cops didn't know who I was. And that guy said, that's Adam. How we messed him, that's his name, old cop. He's such an old cop, he didn't have a pistol. He had a pistol, he had a revolver. I'll tell you every revolver.
Old school.
I don't forget that. I looked at it and he's saying, I say, that's a nice revolver. I started laughing with me.
Serpico. Okay, so you must be looking at life numbers. Because this is when they really start to crack down, like give out huge time for drugs.
And I didn't know, of course, I didn't know.
No, you probably thought it was like, oh, they didn't get me selling drugs.
Game.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, so you went on the run after that?
No.
What happened?
No. On my first case, I didn't even ask for bail. I said no. On my first case, my lawyer advised me not to ask to get bailed out, so I could get a good deal. I had a pretty good prosecutor named Danny DeVita. Danny DeVita. Back then, I used to look at him with hate, but after a couple of years in the case, I looked at him with admiration. Because he didn't look at us as criminals. That's how I see it, my point of view. Because he told me straight up, he said, but you guys are kids. What are you doing in the street selling so much drugs? He told me straight up in my face. He said, what are you doing selling so much drugs in the street? I said, who told you I'm selling drugs? And, this guy, he didn't really want to hit me with time. He just wanted to investigate the case and get it over with. But then he had my brother-in-law locked up, who sold 2 kilograms of cocaine in the store under his name. And the guy was refusing to talk about me. And he was like, these are crazy times. So Danny DeVita was a prosecutor that, and all those feds, they were like, they couldn't prove the case.
Well, how do they make the case?
They didn't make the case.
Okay. What the f are you talking about?
I never pleaded out to drugs.
Okay, so what do they have on you?
They didn't have shit on me.
None of your crew was talking?
They had a lot of money in my house.
What do they take?
A lot of money.
How much?
A lot of money.
Just say it.
It's not in the books. It's not in the books. But the thing is that...
Oh, you mean they didn't declare something?
I don't know what happened.
Wow.
It's just
they ran off? Well, this is New York in the 80s. Of course they did.
But David took a sex tape that I had with my wife, okay?
Were any of your workers talking?
Most of them. But I had 2 guys that were my bodyguards, and they were sicarios, and they had a long record, criminal record. And so when they got me, and they arrested me, what happened is they lied too much. You can't lie on a federal case. They could do that in the state, but not in the federal case. For example, they said, March 14 or something, March 12, 1987, we raided this place on New Latin Vermont, and we had all these drugs, and Adam happened to get away. I wasn't even in the country. Then, March 28, 1988, they raided my place on Van Sicklen and Atlantic, and Adam got away through a fire escape. I wasn't even in the country, but they didn't know I wasn't even in the country, because they would make their statement based upon a government informant statement. But my guys never knew when I was in the country. I call my guys, and when I call my guys, where are you at, Adam? I'm watching you. Because I had a girlfriend on the 3rd floor.
Right.
And she tells me everything step by step. and how all the people watching them. But they never knew where I was, and I was in Dominican Republic.
So
they
did your
think I'm there.
lawyer present that to the government?
We proved it with my passport.
Right.
You know, I proved it with my passport. And the judge was pretty fair too. The judge was pretty fair. I mean, the prosecutor tried to do its best. We did a hearing, and it's called a fabricum hearing. He tried so hard, but he couldn't do it. Because at the end, he's like, well, Mr. Diaz had connections even in the airport. He's got this, because we presented copies of my passport. And my lawyer was like, this guy wasn't even in country. He had nothing to do with all this bunch of criminals. So then, the prosecutor was like, oh no, he's got, connections here, there, even in the airport. We road safe immigration inspectors in the maybe he's got the Dominican ones on his budget, but not the United States, inspectors on his budget. How do you manage that? It's impossible. And then when you get into the airport from Dominican to most of the time I fly from Dominican Republic to Kennedy, right? You got like 7 lanes when you go through to check in.
Yeah.
You got all 7 inspectors?
Yeah, are all paid off.
Well, come on, man.
So. Okay, so did that get dismissed, that motion?
You never get dismissed. You got to be totally innocent to get dismissed, and not all the time.
Right.
And I know that.
Yeah.
Because remember, before I got arrested, you know how many guys I had to pay lawyers and defend in the court? You got no idea. Even customers. So, finally, the judge, never forget his name, George Platt. George Platt. Tough judge. Give Jamaican guys 40 years like nothing. Judge Platt looked at me. I mean, I'm a young guy. He looked at me, always looking at me. He laughs and he smiles. And he tells the prosecutor, my lawyer, come to the bench. Let me talk to you guys. And I heard what he says to the guy, make a deal with Mr. Diaz. Make a deal with Mr. Diaz. It's like, you don't have a case, man. So you got me, and you got Victor, and you got Carlos. Carlos is younger than me. Victor is younger than me. I'm the oldest one, and I'm only 22. So I go downstairs to the bullpen. My lawyer goes downstairs and goes, Nolan Littman, that's his name, Nolan Littman. Young Jewish guy too, brilliant lawyer, brilliant attorney, nice guy, treated me really nice. He goes, Adam, we got a good deal. I said, what do you mean? Say, if you plead guilty right now to laundering money, this is what Don DeVito told me, the prosecutor. Send this to Adam. Laundering money for the money we find him. For what? What? Laundering money for what? How much money? $18,000. Where you find it? I forgot when they arrest me downstairs they could have put the money upstairs on me.
What do you mean? You got to explain that.
Because I get to my house. I live on the 5th floor. I live on the 7th floor. On Bennett Avenue. That's like near Dykeman.
Okay.
All right? Jewish community.
Uptown.
Nice building. All the time I had a nice building, beautiful building. My wife is upstairs. They already got her the whole day up there waiting for me. And so I get to the building. I get there in a car. I park the car. No, I get there in a taxi. And I get there, and then I noticed there's like 5 or 6 guys in a Caprice Classic right in front of us, and I'm like, what is this? But I'm in a taxi. We already paid the taxi. The taxi's already gone. I'm like, what the these guys? I'm looking at those guys. So before I get upset, let me make a phone call first. So I go right a car shop, and I grab the phone. While I'm grabbing the phone, cops already on me. So they didn't get me upstairs. I never made it upstairs. I never made it to the building.
I see. But you had money on you. You had $18K.
We had $18,000 on me,
Okay. And then they raided, but then they found a bunch of money in your apartment.
Yeah.
And they weren't able to link you to that?
No.
That's crazy. That's, dude. God, you guys had it good back then.
So now the cops saying, the prosecutors are saying upstairs, okay, Give them a laundry money deal. They gave me a laundry money deal. And then I say, and how much time? My attorney says, it's going to be between 18 months and 3 years. But you're a first offender. They're not going to give you 3 years, Adam. Take it. Trust me, take it. This guy's been working for me for a while already, representing some of my guys. I say, fine. Let me tell you something. That damn very day I went upstairs again to the judge. And the judge was happy about it. He never thought I was going to say yes right away. So we go upstairs, and my wife started crying. My father was there crying. Because I say, yes, I'm guilty, whatever, I plead guilty, blah, blah, blah. And my father was like, what are you doing? You're innocent. And my wife is like, what are you doing? And I get, shut your mouth and go home. Let me do this. So I plead out that day, but then my co-defender f***ed up. I had 2 more co-defenders, and it was 6 counts. First count, being a leader of a huge organization that sells thousands of kilos. Mm-hmm. Second charge, attempt to kill a government informant. Third, laundering money. Fourth, there was 6 counts altogether, right?
Mm-hmm. Was it
possession of a weapon? Possession of a weapon because they found us with guns.
Did you have a kingpin charge? Like a CCE?
Charge, yeah.
CCE?
Yeah.
Continual criminal enterprise?
Okay. Yeah. Being a leader of organization is a kingpin. Adam Diaz is a kingpin. So it's the RICO law.
Right.
So when they did that, but they couldn't prove it. They just couldn't prove it. And the prosecutor's he's being smart. He didn't have a case because they rushed. They rushed.
Right.
And they wouldn't take their time with the investigation. They could have got me really good.
Oh, they definitely would.
But they rushed to arrest me just based upon government informant testimony. You can't do that.
Right. Yeah, because you were bringing in tons now.
Yeah.
So they would have got a load on you eventually.
Listen.
Do you feel so lucky? You could have been doing life.
Not only that, listen to me. They told the judge, Your Honor, Mr. Diaz, we are being hunting Mr. Diaz for the last 8 months, and we know where his whereabouts day by day. Where's the pictures? I mean, you couldn't take a video, but you could take a picture. But not only that, the night before I got arrested, I came down from my apartment. I came down from my apartment. I lasted like 3 hours counting money with the machines. And I came down with a big bags of pamper bags, the huge one, right? Mm-hmm. Full of money. Bring it to the connection. That's huge evidence right there. Why didn't you arrest me right there? I'm bringing down a huge box. Why didn't you arrest me? That's bullshit. You wasn't after me. You wasn't hunting me. That's bullshit. All your testimonies and all your evidence were based on whatever the informants were saying. And I knew it was that, in fact, because all the things they were saying was all the things I was saying to them that it was not truth. Damn. And they didn't see it coming. So the judge was like, make a deal with this. So I made a deal. But then I had a co-defendant named Victor Perez, Taboo, and Victor decided not to plead guilty. And the prosecutor was very, very clear about that. He says, you all 3 got to plead guilty. Victor got to plead guilty to being your bodyguard, and so is Carlos. But then Victor had a long preliminary record, and Victor didn't want to plead guilty because all the years he was going to get. Carlos, on the other hand, which is, his name is Carlos, but he basically say his name was Luis when he wasn't. And it's funny, because the guns we used, they were at his apartment. I used some guys from the Lower East Side named Savage, who was in that. Savage was in the case with the Ricky Melendez case. I don't know if you never heard about Ricky Melendez. Yeah. This guy was making $100,000 a day.
Wow.
In the Lower East Side selling heroin. Savage was his hitman, but he was also working for me. Mm. So Savage and Carlos had an apartment, and so when they arrested us, Carlos said, I never forget this because I didn't know this white street guy's way of doing things. And they asked him, where do you live? He said, I'm homeless.
Yeah.
What's your ID? I don't have an ID. I was like,
Was your family shocked? Your father was a school teacher in the DR, mother was a good Catholic housewife. Were they shocked to find out the scale that you were moving, or did they know it already?
no, my father didn't know. My father knew I was selling drugs, but not at that scale. My mother's the gangster one in the family. My mother is a hillbilly from the mountains. She likes money. She don't care. She was like, ah, it. He's making money. And but my father's a school teacher. He was always worrying about that situation. He was always sad about it.
Right.
And so I had cousins. Like I had a cousin named Papi, Julio Palma. He was the one that taught me how to be an electrician. And Papi was like, who was Louis' brother's boss, as a matter of fact. And when Louis decided to make me a drug dealer, a main man, let's say the mafia style shit, Julio was very upset at Louis. He's like, why you bring Primo into this drug war? He's doing good at working electricity. Tomorrow he's gonna have his own company. Why you got him involved in this shit? Whatever. And I don't forget, I said that before in the podcast. Papi, which is Julio Palma, one time in Miami, that's on my second bit when I came out of jail and then I started doing dealing again. I went to visit him. And his kids are crazy about me. He's got three young daughters, which I have now. I know what it means. And they were teenagers. And they're crazy about me. They love me. And he says to me, cousin, don't come to my house no more. I say, why? He said, I don't want you in my house because we're dealing with drugs again. And I don't want you around my kids. And I told you before, I can't wait till you can leave that shit alone, man.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it alone. I love you. If you need me, trust me. If you get shot, something happens to you, you could call me. I'm going to go run and help you, man. But don't come to my house.
Mm.
Okay?
Did that do something to you? Did that affect you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still gets to me, but...
So wrapping up this first case, you pled guilty. You have two more people, your co-Ds.
Yeah.
They didn't plead guilty?
One of them didn't, which is Victor. He played innocent, and we got very upset at him. We got so upset at him. Because the whole thing that was going on. And I said, Victor, why you do that? You're going to make it bad for us. No, I don't want to plead guilty. They don't have any shit, man. He was listening to all these Italian gangsters that want to go to trial. And I said, you can't win the feds, man.
Right.
Can't win the feds. You got to plead. We got a good deal, man. We go, do our time, come back into the game. It.
Yeah.
Why you doing this?
Were you all going to get the same time?
No.
He was going to get more time because he had a criminal record.
That's why he was upset.
Yeah.
He's got a criminal record.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't want to do that. And they want to give him a charge for the gun. They got him with a gun. Mm. And he said, no, that's 5 years. And then 3 more years. And then I say, man, this is it. This is the way it is.
Yeah.
And my other co-defendant got upset at him also and says, Vic, man, come on, you know what was going on, man. Don't play innocent because you ain't innocent. Stop this shit. And then for being stupid like that, not that he's stupid, he's a very smart kid, but at that time, he was stupid for doing that. That he took it to trial, man. And that really affected my case. They gave me 10 years.
Wow.
I paid out to 3 years and they gave me 10. Because they enhanced my guidelines by 6 levels.
Right.
Because then they it's not the same when you get a judge, we got a judge to accept the charges and sentencing or whatever, then a trial judge. They changed the judge for a trial judge.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Arturo Spot. And Arturo Spot didn't want to hear that.
Right.
So when I came back for sentencing, he's like, I just found your co-defendant guilty of working for you, and I'm going to give him 20. Why would I give you 3? And you're the boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he f***ed me up with that.
So Victor got 20.
Victor got 20.
Damn.
He took it to trial.
Damn.
And you know what's so upset about it? That they wouldn't sentence me before he finished the trial. And all that time they did it for a reason. They want to make him feel that I was going to testify against it. I was becoming an informant. They separate us.
Damn.
They send me to Otisville. They send him to MCC. And they send Carlos to New Jersey. So they have everybody thinking crazy that we all talking about each other. And then I don't forget that at the end we met at Otisville as a holdovers. And Carlos grabbed Victor right in front of me and told Victor, you need to apologize to Adam. And so I looked at him and I said, what did he have to apologize? And Victor looked at me, very upset. He says, Adam, please forgive me. I thought you was a government informant. I thought they were going to bring you and testify against me. And I say, Victor, I did a lot of worse shit than you did, and you know it. What makes you think I will do that? Like, if you told on me, yeah, that would give me life in jail. But you know all the shit I did.
Right.
I only know half of the stuff you did. So why would I? That don't make any sense, man.
So, but this is 89?
89.
Because I think you only did like, what, 3 years off of 10?
No. I did 5-something years.
Yeah, but that's still a deal compared to what you get now. You do 85%. Back then, you got parole out of the feds, right? I think it was just changing, maybe.
No, they give you good time. They don't give you parole. They give you good time.
They give you good time, right? So I think you got in right before.
I did something like 6 years altogether. Like,
right. Okay. Well, we're gonna wrap and then we'll come back and do part 2 because I want to hear about the joint. I want to hear about prison. I want to hear about how you got back in the game. And then we're going to talk about what you're doing now.
Back in the game is the most interesting.
Oh, God, part 2, man. Adam, can we plug away your cigar company or can we plug something for you? For people who want to come down to the Dominican Republic, a lot of people are coming down here now, so maybe you can sell them something. Look at this, Adam Diaz cigar. Can they get this anywhere? Are you selling these?
No. Right now, we were selling cigars in the States. We're not allowed to sell it here in Dominican.
I see.
Because they were registered in Washington, and they're not registered in Dominican yet.
I see.
The image is registered, but not the company, in fact.
Okay.
So, but we registered in Washington, and we started sending cigars to New York, through Miami, through a company that's what they do. They only sell cigars. But then there was a newspaper that wrote an article, a really negative article about my cigar because it comes from a story that a lot of people don't like. A lot of people like it. And then that's when shit hits the ground. I was like,
okay.
This guy named Joe Hall, he's chief of narcotics, and he spent a lot of years of his life trying to hunt us, and he couldn't get us. Yeah. And then at the end, when he finds out about the cigar, Mike made a couple of mistakes. Mike grabbed some of the cigars, took it to Long Island, tried to wrap it up around people's face. And, Long Island is a place, North County, it's a place that is full of cops. Yeah. And then you have to understand that I have respect for cops, a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for cops. Honest cops.
Yeah, you paid them.
Yeah.
They did a lot of work for you.
But I'm saying, there's cops in my family, there's military in my family.
Right.
And there's military in my family that pay the final price. So I know, I'm like a U.S. citizen, you know what I mean? Yeah. I know. So I know, there's good cops. And, but, this guy in particular never had crossed a word with me. And then he talked about me like he's the worst drug dealer in the world. Listen, man, I'm a kid from New York. I grew up in New York, and this was up back in the days, and this was what I did. I don't do it out of hate. I do it because that's what the life gave me, life teaches me, and that's what I did. And then now I'm trying to grow as a businessman based upon my story, and you want to take that away from me. Why would you do that? And so he put up a story on the New York Post, Daily News, I think it was, big drug dealer Adam Diaz and Michael Dow trying to wash money. What money? I don't have any money anymore. It's all gone. What the fuck are you talking about? I did a lot of time in jail, and I say, why would you do that? But then I say, you know what? That's what cops do.
Yeah.
And I can't blame him for that. Yeah. I can't blame the guy.
Well, dude, these are going to be big. You're you were that successful for a reason in the game, and you're going to be successful in business. So, then it's nothing. Let's go smoke one. You guys, we'll see you for part 2 with the one and only Adam Diaz. Just incredible life story, man. I'm glad we finally hooked up, dude.
Okay.
Thanks.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Peace.